Hey guys, welcome back to Geared Forwards. Today we'll be taking a look at a AAA EDC flashlight. This is the Olight i3t EOS. Now this is quite a long-standing model. It's still, however, very relevant in the world of EDC today, and I think this is a very compelling option for quite a lot of you out there. So let's jump on into some size comparisons and weight, and then we'll go over the UI and whatnot. So first of all, let's throw some points of comparison up there. Here it is next to one of its big brothers. This is the Olight i5R, a relatively new up-and-comer in the EDC world. This is the Rovivon A5X. Here it is next to a 14500, which is roughly AA size. And let's have a look at it versus its own battery. So there it is versus a AAA as well. Now in terms of weight, let's just throw the cell back in there. And whilst we're here, let's get an up close look at those threads. Nice copper back end. Screwing into the aluminium. Now the threads are machined quite well. I never really have any trouble with beginning to cross thread, and it feels like a good, it feels like a good experience putting the tail cap back on every time. It never snags, never feels like you're going to do it wrong, which is a sign of good machining. So in ounces to begin with a battery, we're looking at about 1.48 ounces, or in grams, about 42 grams. So really very, very light. Now just in terms of colorway, I believe this is the Mountain Sky effect, or something to that nomenclature. And I find this particular pattern fairly attractive myself. I also own this light in all black, which is the base model, if you will. It now comes also in stainless steel, which looks like a very polished silver. It's going to be a bit more durable, however it's also going to be heavier than this. And they did at one time make this in brass and titanium. I do believe that, however, when they make the i3t in various materials, it has typically been limited editions rather than standard as it is on the new i5R. So in terms of pocket clip, we do have the standard Olight design two-way pocket clip. Works very well. It's got a good amount of wrap to it. It's very easy to get into the pocket. Carries deep enough. You are going to end up with about this much sticking out of your pocket. I don't personally mind that. And it is reversible should you wish to use this on the brim of a cap. Attach it to a backpack strap, that kind of thing. It is a forward clicky, so you do have momentary on. That is something that I do like in my tail switch lights. However, typically you do, unless there is some kind of guard around the button, you do typically with forward clickies lose the ability to tail stand to use it like an electronic candle. Bit of a shame, but not a deal breaker by any means for this. Now in terms of UI, it only has two modes, and that is going to be low, and then if you just cycle quickly through, you're going to go low and then high. The low mode on this is 5 lumens and is rated to run for 16 hours, and the high is 180 lumens and that is meant to run for 21 minutes. So definitely a usable amount of runtime. That is obviously going to vary a bit depending on what AAA you throw in here. If you throw an N-Loop Pro in here versus a normal cell, then you're obviously going to get a bit more runtime out of it. In general, I find that this normally lasts decent enough. I carried the black version of this light for a very long time when I worked in IT, and I found that I could get through the entire week using it several times or more a day intermittently without worrying about battery life whatsoever. And at that point I would charge it weekly just so I knew that it was going to be good to go. However, you could probably get by multiple weeks without having to recharge this unless you're using it for an extended walk, that kind of thing. In terms of water resistance and whatnot, this is IPX8, so you don't have to worry about dropping this, in a puddle in the sink, keeping it out in the rain, that kind of thing. It has a drop resistance of up to 1.5 meters, and it's rated to throw out to 60 meters or 196 feet. Now, these do retail typically for about £20 or about $20. Obviously, in the US and whatnot, you're going to have to add sales tax to that. And I think that even at full price, this is definitely worth it. This is well made, is backed by a good warranty, and it's just overall a good, simple EDC tool. Not to be confused with the Lumentop tool. And I think this is good value for money. However, it is worth noting with Olight at all times that if you want to pick one up, it is most advisable to wait for one of their sales. They tend to have a sale once a month. The timing does vary based on if there's any events they can base the sales off of, and the quality of the sales does also vary. You're not going to get the same value out of every sale. However, these lights do typically go on sale. Price drops a little bit, they're included in bundles, and they're sometimes given away as tier gifts depending on how much money you spent. That is how I picked up this guy. I got this at a reduced rate during a sale, but if you don't want to wait for a sale or it's not in the particular sale you're looking at, it's also very easy with the Olight store to pick up a coupon code from a YouTuber or something like that for 10-15% off, just to get that down a little bit. But again, at full price, $20, £20, I think this is perfectly worth it. In terms of how it functions in the hand, being a tail switch, it is going to be a little bit longer than a twisty. If you're looking for ultimate compact lighting, a tail switch is never really going to be the way to go. However, with a particularly proud, rubberized and textured, see if you can see the texture there, switch, this is very comfortable, easy to use. I've never failed to switch this on, and just so you know, like a little larger than average hands, and it just easily reached the switch, and just a little bit of the light protruding out the end of my fingers. So this is very recommendable in my opinion. If you're looking for a AAA flashlight, then this is definitely a strong way that you can go, and this is going to be a very robust light. Now, it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles of other lights that you might want. It is only 2 mode rather than the 3 or 4 mode that you might expect, low, medium, high, or even firefly, or ultra low moonlight mode. And there's no strobe. That is because the intention of this model, the T series, the i3t, i5t, i5r, is to be a simple UI. If you want something more complicated, they have plenty of other lights in that niche. However, this is just 2 mode, simple UI, you get to what you want. That makes this great for people that perhaps are typically working with things in their hands, don't want to be faffing around with tools whilst also trying to get to the correct flashlight light level. Or it can also be great for people that are not really likely to understand or remember more complex UIs. If you give this to a parent, grandparent, or just somebody that's not really prone to remembering that kind of thing, they're going to be able to use it, and if they do forget how it works, they're going to stumble through it quite easily. Simplicity can be a negative, but when it is the point of the product, it can also be a wonderful strength as well. So I recommend that you look towards this should you want a AAA flashlight. If you have it already, or if you are avoiding it for some reason, why don't you let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Is there anything about it that puts you off? Is this your EDC perhaps? Whilst you're down there, hit that like button if you like this video, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you can be notified of future uploads. Until next time, I've been Paul, and I will see you in the next video.